Well, hey there! My name's Captain Wishbone, and you are looking really familiar. Do I know you from somewhere? Oh my heck, you're the one that was just over at the intro video. Yeah, I recognize you. Oh my heck, thanks for coming back. It's really good to see you again. Well, as promised, I think I'll take you on a little world tour today. But before we do that, Captain Wishbone always starts his day with a fresh cup of hot cocoa. Ah, yeah, this cocoa's great. It used to be called Wishbone's Cocoa, but the marketing team decided that because I was their only customer, it might be more inclusive if they changed the name. So now it's something like the juiciest bean or the juicy bean. The least worst part of being awake is bean juice you can drink. Bean juice. This video is not sponsored by Bean Juice or its affiliates. I can't remember. It'll come to me. Shall we? Well, I think the beginning is a good place to start, so let me take you over here and show you my very first house. Now you're looking at this going, Captain Wishbone, that is a hay bale. Aha! Yes, you are right. But the hay bale represents the location and material of my very first house. You see, there's a village right over there on the other side of that ridge. I raided it, stole their hay, and because I ain't no rookie and decided not to make my house out of dirt, I made it out of the hay bales instead. Now you may be wondering, well, where's the house now? Where did all that hay go? I ate it. Now, of course, we needed some of the basic farms, so we got your cows, your piggies, your schmeeps, and look at all those chickens. What the? Now, I'm sure you noticed there are quite a few more chickens than everything else, but that's because this is kind of an automatic chicken farm. I'm sure you've seen this before, but the cart picks up the eggs, throws the eggs into this dispenser hatches the eggs, and then when they grow up, I get cooked chicken out of it. Not too shabby. Now over here, this was my very first storage unit. Once I ate my house, I moved into it, and it became my house unit, and then once I built something bigger, this just became an empty space. So I kind of just turned it into like my map making area, and it's just a lot of unused space right now. So I was thinking about tearing it down. I don't know. I'm on the fence what to do with this. While we're here, let me show you the map. Yeah, we're surrounded by a lot of really good biomes. We've got a desert just north, a mangrove swamp. I apologize for not having that filled in. This is a jungle. This is the plains that we're living in now. We've got all these really, really nice waterways that connect. I think I'm even going to make a tunnel. That was one of the plans I had, was to tunnel somewhere. And then it'll get us over to the ocean, where we have a big old mesa, a mushroom island, and then down here in the corner, I'm pretty confident we have a ocean monument. And then over here on this side, I'm pretty sure we have another mesa. I haven't been over there in a little while, but I think we've got another mesa. So yeah, not too bad. Pretty good spread. Now, I'm sure you've noticed this little eyesore as we've been running around here. This is my iron farm. The design came from a YouTuber named, oh boy. The design came from a YouTuber named Wattles. I don't know if it was his design or if he got it from someone else, but boy, this thing turns out. I try and empty this probably about once a YouTube session. You can see, I mean, 2 full stacks plus some, and then half, and yeah, so it puts out. And you know, I did mention it was kind of an eyesore, but I don't know. I think that might just be my style of build, because I like automation, and so I like building things that'll just work for me. And when I do that kind of building, a lot of the details just kind of get left out. I think that's one area that I'm lacking, and one goal that I have is to improve my build quality and add details. So maybe we can work on that together, and you can help me learn how to bring more life to each build. This next one here is one of my favorites. It's a villager breeder, and I had full intent on making a villager trading hall, but I forgot, and I just kind of let this run, and it started creating so much lag that I had to come in here, shut it off, and let some of my employees go, if you know what I'm saying. Now you'll notice I made it somewhat nether themed. I don't know why, but I chose to do that. So speaking of the nether, let's just hop in and I'll just show you a quick look around. Yep, I think I've seen enough. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll show you around. It's just, Captain Wishbone is obviously meant for the ocean, for the water, for the sea. And you can't find any of that down here. But I'll show you around anyway. So over there is an old base that I kind of settled. It's a little closer to spawn. There are some spruce trees and some ice, and I think there may be an ancient city. I ran into some skulk block when I was mining down there. So I don't know, we could go check that out. Over here, there is a fortress, and I was able to find it, but I have done nothing there but die yet, so we can go over there, and it'll be just as new to you as it is to me, and we can explore it together. And then down here is clearly the place where dreams go to die, so we will leave. Ah, home sweet home. Alright, so the next place I wanted to show you is this fancy little... Okay! Where was I before I was rudely interrupted? Oh yeah, okay, so my next project that I worked on was getting these 3 frogs, and the next project that I worked on was building this barn. When the mangrove swamp came out and the new redwood came out, I thought, man, what better project to work on than a barn? And then, of course, what to put in the barn, but more livestock. This is my wool farm. Every color of wool that exists in the game is right here on each of these sheep. Now, I built this because I wanted to make a big American flag somewhere in the world, like in the air or on the ground so you could see it from a map. So obviously I needed a red, white, and blue, but I couldn't just stop there, so I decided to make the rest. And putting it in the barn itself, I think that was just a really nice touch. I really quite like this build. It's probably my first foray into more detailed and design and artsy build. Obviously, the sheep farm is the automatic side of it, but I wanted to put it in something that's a little more detailed and looks like it has purpose in the world, you know what I mean? Alright, next up, we're going into the depths, way down below the surface of the Earth's crust. So, I'm going to run off, grab some armor, and then we'll head down. Yeah, it was kind of neat. I just came down here, and I was mining out some iron right around here, and it just opened up to this hole, so I followed it down, and it turned out to be a mine shaft. And I found this little spider spawner. I know these aren't the best, but it's something. But the rest of the cool stuff's just over this way. Oh, yep, right there, there it is. This over here is a zombie spawner. So what happens is the zombies are spawning in there, they fall into water, they fall into a stream, they get pumped up this elevator. We wait patiently, we might see one. Nice, there we go. And then once it gets pumped up there, it'll fall over in this hole. Right there. And then they all take enough damage that it's an easy kill for me. And then once I have mending on my tools, it'll repair all of my tools with all of that XP. Look at that. I think I was at, what, 9 before? I also put this enchanting layout here. Yeah, I thought that might be useful working with experience or need, you know, to enchant something, but I'm out of experience. Having it right here is probably a good idea. That scared me. Did that scare you? No, I knew it. You're too brave. You wouldn't get scared. So anyways, yeah, that's it. That's my zombie spawner that I wanted to show you before we finished up, because it's pretty useful. It's a top of the line resource, and we could always find another one if we chose to start a new world. But yeah, at least you know it's here. Now I think there was a way out of here that I didn't have to crawl through the caves. Yeah. Okay, I made a stairwell up, but obviously haven't used it in a long time. So this will take us to the surface, but I'm not sure where it'll put us out. This is a heck of a staircase. By the way, did you appreciate that this is a 4 tall staircase? Yeah, thank you. Captain Wishbone special. Let's see here. Okay, so it's in the mesa. Remember on the map I told you I thought there might be a mesa around here somewhere? Is it? Oh, I remember now. Social Media Mountain. Yeah, I am not a huge fan of this place. Anakin is to sand as Captain Wishbone is to Social Media Mountain. You know, the problem is Captain Wishbone likes company. The population here combined is 10, and they all come from YouTube. Ah! Guys, I'll be right back. Oh, folks, I am so sorry for that distraction, but I assure you, I hated it just as much as you did. Now, I don't want to beat a dead horse or anything. I just want you to know how much I appreciate these 10 sweet subscribers that came from YouTube, and I think we ought to get them some company, don't you? Maybe a couple more follows on Facebook or Instagram. Oh, and of course, Twitter. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce you guys. This is Larry. He's the official mascot from Twitter. He's named after Larry Bird, the basketball player from the Boston Celtics. And that is true. Okay, I think I've made you wait long enough. Finally, the coup de grace. My favorite build. Captain Wishbone's L'Arc de Triomphe. This is, without a doubt, the largest build I have ever made. Now you may be asking, Captain Wishbone, why? Why choose the Parisian arch for your inspiration? I guess I just figured it's big, but it's simple. You know, it's obviously kind of square-ish. So for someone who's just barely starting out building these kind of semi-mega builds, it would be a pretty good starter, I think. It is big and square, but I mean, it's also got these kind of smaller, finer details that make it a little bit more tricky. And obviously, there's some limitations when it comes to Minecraft and trying to build in real life builds. But I don't know, I think I got pretty close to some of the details. You know what the trick is? Graph paper. Yep. You just get some graph paper, you pull an image up on your computer of what you want to build, set your graph paper on the monitor, and then just lightly trace on the graph paper, and then that'll help you get your scale and where the location of all these little details are. Yeah, just a little pro tip from me to you. Oh, how rude of me. Come in, let's take a look inside. Now, it is kind of trickier to build in here because of how tall and just rectangular these legs are, so I actually built down and created a basement first. I put my automatic storage unit in here, and believe it or not, this is way easier than it looks. So I'll show you how to build one of these. Piece of cake. Built a lava farm over here with some stalagmites and a bed of lava. And then over here, I put a couple elevator systems here. This one goes up to the first floor, and this one goes up to the fourth floor. So, you know, you don't have to just go to the first floor and then crawl your way up the rest of the way. I do have an option to go up both. So let me take you up to the first leg here. This is where my living quarters are. A couple pieces of storage and my bed obviously around back. It's got kind of a nice open, airy, natural feel. I threw some trees in here. This elevator system I actually covered up with logs and leaves, so it looks like a tree is supporting that corner, but yeah, that's actually my elevator system. Now over here, this is where that bed of lava is that I showed you, and I have yet to come up with a decent idea for this area. I guess I could say that for the most of this build. There's just so much space to fill, and I just don't really know what to fill it with, so if you've got any ideas, please let me in on those. Moving on up to the second floor, we have yet another landing that I don't know what to do with. I thought about maybe partitioning it off and making little rooms around here, but if you set any solid block up against this wall, the wall block will bond with it, and it'll look funny from the outside, so that's a no. I thought about doing an enchanting area, but it would look really small just on this landing all by itself. I could open it up like this and have a look down. I could do a job board, just kind of line, like maybe do an interior wall, like down here, but you do lose a little space on that backside. And this is my down elevator too, so I don't really want to block that off. So I don't know, you guys, you've got your work cut out for you. Next floor. And welcome to the third floor, where we have another landing full of space I don't know what to do with. I don't want to build anything in here too big or noticeable because you can't see it from the ground. That's why I put those stairs on the backside, is because I don't really go over to that village very often. So if I'm looking through the windows on that side, I'll see those, but it doesn't matter because I'm not over there. But I don't want to block these windows. It feels so open and clean and clear. It was originally going to be my penthouse suite, but how do you fill this entire space with one living quarters, you know? So, I don't know. And last but not least, we have the third floor again, but in a different color, and it's outside. Also known as the fourth floor. I try and build at least one really tall build in every single one of the worlds I create, and that way I can just have a little bit different perspective of the whole layout of the place. Now, it is wise to build the tall build first, as that will probably be the focal point, and then build all the other builds around it. But if you're good at planning, you can do that second. This world in particular, I was kind of planning on getting some elytra soon. That way I could fly between these builds, so I intentionally spaced them out a little bit. Elytra makes your world a whole lot smaller. And then, of course, to get back down, there's nothing faster than gravity. If you're squeamish, look away! So now you've seen the entire world, but you may be thinking, pray tell, Captain Wishbone, pray tell, what are your plans next? Well, I'm glad you asked. I do have a couple plans, but let me phrase it like this. If I weren't on YouTube, this is what I would do next. But since I opened the YouTube channel and made it very clear that this is your world, I want you guys to make sure that you're the ones making the decisions, okay? But here's what I kind of had planned. We're gonna get to the end and we're gonna take down the dragon, get ourselves some elytra. I have never had a beacon before. That would be nice. We're gonna spend some time in the nether and upgrade our gear. I'm gonna build that giant American flag I was talking about down in the wool farm. And then I'm gonna build Nathan Craven a diamond ship. Oh yeah, I think a diamond ship would be so awesome. First things first though, I gotta find myself some diamonds. But thanks for posting that comment. You're my number 2 skipper, right behind Mrs. Wishbone, of course. And all of you can be just like Skipper Nathan right now. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what your favorite build was. Tell me if you think this world is worth saving, or if we ought to just scrap it and start again, and that is totally fine too. I will rebuild any of these that you guys want me to, and we can still tackle this list and any other things that you guys want to add on. And a very special thank you to all the skippers that participated in the poll I put out. It turns out 33% of you, one whole vote, wants me to be the captain of a pirate-themed breakfast cereal. Who knew there was such a demand for that kind of thing? But I think I might go for the majority rule on this one. Thanks for spending some time with Captain Wishbone today, and I'll see you in the next one. Full speed ahead!